LBC, I'm Clive Bull, and it's the Consumer Hour between now and 10. If you've got a problem, perhaps with a retailer or a contract, something you've bought, a service, and you want to know your rights, then call now. 0345 6060 973. Dean Dunham, consumer lawyer and the Retail Ombudsman, is with me to answer your questions. 0345 6060 973. Good evening, Dean.
Evening, Clive.
Let's talk first about the sales, shall we? Reports today that actually footfall was down, not that many people going out to the sales, but if you do go into a shop and buy something, are your rights affected if it's a sale?
Well, this is a big myth that we hear every single year, people thinking, well, I've bought it in the sale, so it must mean that my rights are less. Clive, no, your rights are exactly the same. And the other thing I've been telling people this week is that when you go out and buy what you think's a great bargain, just think carefully, because every year at the Retail Ombudsman we hear complaints from people saying, I thought it was a great bargain, the price looked good, they told me that was a discount, but actually I've now found out that it was at that price 4 weeks ago, or it didn't go down a few weeks later. So you have to be really careful, because it's not always the bargain you think it is. And the thing to do these days is go online and shop around.
I mean, there are rules, aren't there, about claiming that something is a sale?
There are rules, but Clive, here's the big problem. Those rules are very willy-nilly. We don't have an act of parliament that actually nails it to the table and says what the rules are. There's more guidelines. Yes, retailers and traders should be doing certain things. Many of them don't. That's the problem. You've just got to be savvy when it comes to buying things when you think you're getting a bargain. Are you really? If
you've bought something in a sale, you say the rights are exactly the same. So what are your rights in terms of returns? Can you take it back still, or can you take it back anyway?
The key thing to remember that many people forget is that if you walk into the shop and you buy goods and you decide a day or two later, actually, I don't really like this jumper, the law doesn't say that you can go and take it back. It only says you can do that if it's faulty. So what you have to do is you have to ask the retailer, what is your returns policy? So it's in the sale, what are your returns policies? Now, Clive, often during Christmas periods or sales periods, returns policies do change. So it's important to ask the question. But this is the other thing I always say. The internet's a great thing, because if you buy online and you decide you don't like or don't want what you buy, the consumer contract regulations, which is the applicable law with online purchases, says that within 14 days of delivery, you can send those goods back, no questions asked, and get a refund. So it's a good insurance policy if you're someone that tends to change their mind, like me.
So buy it online if you want that 14 days then.
Yeah, and also if you go online, you can usually get a better deal because you can shop around. So you're not so much of an impulse purchaser. You walk in a shop off the high street and you see something, you think it's a great deal, you buy it straight away. Online, you'll tend to shop around a bit more in the comfort of your own home. And it's a fact, people get better deals online because of that.
Right, and if you've changed your mind, you bought something online, you want your money back, do you have to pay to send it back?
You do. And again, you have to check to see what the trader's terms and conditions say. But generally speaking, yes, because it's, after all, isn't really fair on the trader to have to pay for that if you've simply changed your mind. But if the goods are faulty and that's why you're sending them back, then the trader's got to pick up the tab for that.
There are also specific time limits, aren't there? I mean, as somebody's just texted in here saying they bought a jumper and the shop wouldn't take it back because it was day 16 and they had a 14-day returns policy.
Yep, absolutely. Now, that sounds like he bought that in the shop. And as I say, yes, the shop will have a returns policy for simply changing your mind. If you go over it, tough luck. It's right for you to check that. The 14-day rule applies online as well. That's 14 days from when that jumper, in his case, arrives not at the point of purchase online, but you do need to check the terms very carefully.
0345 6060 973 is the number. If you've got a consumer question, if you've got a query about your consumer rights, whether it's something you've bought, a service you've paid for, whatever the question, call us now on the Consumer Hour here on LBC. Patricia in Edmonton. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, and Happy New Year to you guys.
And you.
And also to Dean.
Thank you.
This is a query about theatre tickets.
Go on.
I bought a couple of theatre tickets for myself and a friend to a West End musical, well-known theatre which I won't name. And when I was shown to what I thought were our seats, the usherette just indicated to the row. When I actually got close up to the seats, I realised they were not the numbered seats which I'd purchased, that there was a male sitting in my seat and somebody else sitting in the seat of my friend. However, there were empty seats in the row. I decided, I'd just sit down in the empty seat and not make a scene. I wish I had made a scene. I should have called the manager or usherette. However, I didn't. What happened during the performance is that I whispered in a very quiet tone to my friend because I was so blown away by the performance. Just a few comments, 3 times exactly during the first half. It didn't disturb anyone, but apparently it had disturbed the person, the male, who was sitting in the seat I'd paid for. Interval happens, I go away, buy my memorabilia, come back, and as soon as the lights are darkened and the curtain opens for the second half, this man rams his shoulder into my side and says, if you're going to converse with your friend the way you did during the first half of the performance, go and sit over there, in a most aggressive manner. I was so gobsmacked, I didn't know what to say. I just sat for a few seconds just trying to think, well, did I really hear that? Did he really ram me in my side? And then when I collected myself, I said, you have just physically assaulted me, which he denied. And I said, I am a lady. You're not allowed to touch females. And then I just told my friend, let's just move away as far as we can from this man. So we did. And
so what is your question now then?
Yeah, the query is that I feel that I should get a complimentary ticket because I left the performance just a couple of seconds after the first.
You would have rather spoilt it, I'm sure.
At risk, and I just couldn't sit there and not.
So you think the theatre owes you a replacement ticket?
Basically. Yeah. So what I did during the second half of the performance is walk to the back and ask to see the manager who I spoke with, and said to him that I couldn't continue to sit there with this man there. And he admitted liability. He actually said that the usherette should have actually shown me to my numbered seat, and had the usherette been doing her job properly, this unfortunate incident wouldn't have occurred because I would have been sat in my seat. And this man would have gone wherever he should.
Okay, so what you want is a complimentary ticket.
A complimentary ticket. I wrote to the manager asking for a complimentary ticket. I've received a reply, and not a very nice one.
Saying no.
He was more, but he was kind of on the side of this person as well, which I object to. This person, he just exaggerated my behaviour, and the manager tended to kind of side with him, which I didn't like at all.
Patricia, can I just ask, did you stay for the rest of the performance?
No.
So you actually left, and what you're saying is, well, because I couldn't watch the rest of it, I should really get a ticket, and because the manager admitted liability, as you say, it's a slam dunk. Is that what we're saying?
What I'm saying is I couldn't sit in that theatre for the second half of the performance because I felt vulnerable with that man not far away.
Okay. And forgive me, Patricia, I want to quickly ask this question. Did the manager offer to seat you somewhere else?
No.
No?
The thing is, I was sitting in the same row because there are a few empty seats, you see. I sat away from this man because I didn't want to sit anywhere near him. In the same row because there were empty seats.
Well, why do you think the theatre's responsible for the man's behaviour, though?
The theatre is responsible for me to be able to sit safely and watch a performance without risk of being verbally or physically abused. If I'm sold a ticket in a theatre, it's their responsibility to provide me with a safe environment.
I think, Patricia, I have to say, I think you're right about that, generally speaking. But the way you've described this to me, I don't think you're right about this. Because if the man was physically attacking you, then they would have had to have turfed him out. And if they didn't do that, then they wouldn't have been fulfilling their own duties to you. But someone verbally attacking someone in this sort of situation is fairly common in like a cinema scenario as well. If there were free seats and you could have seated somewhere else, it was your choice to get up and leave. It doesn't sound to me that it was that big a deal that they should be giving you a free ticket.
Well, she does say he sort of physically shoved her with his shoulder. I mean, is that something the theatre should be responsible for, or should the police have been called if it's an assault?
Maybe the police should have been called. I mean, the theatre is in this case, they would have had a duty to take care of everyone in the theatre, that's for sure. Of course, they wouldn't have seen this incident. They should have probably seated Patricia somewhere else. Patricia, I would go back and pursue this and say, I want this free ticket because I felt threatened. And I think your best point would be the manager should have seated you somewhere far away from this man. And if he couldn't have done that, he should have offered you a free ticket. I think that's your best point that you need to go with.
OK, good luck with it, Patricia. Thank you very much. And more calls coming in a moment on LBC. It's the Consumer Hour. Dean Dunham is here. 0345 6060 973 is the number. I'm Clive Bull and it's 9:15.
LBC.
I'm Clive Bull, this is LBC, and the Consumer Hour. Dean Dunham is here, consumer lawyer and the Retail Ombudsman, answering your consumer questions. Anne-Marie in Dagenham. Hello, Anne-Marie.
Hi, Clive. Hi, Dean. I'm ringing regarding a complaint I've already got ongoing regarding a holiday that I went to in the summer in August. I'm not quite sure where to go from the point after APTA. I put my complaint all the way through with the conditions of the holiday, the breaking of the contract, and the big, well-known company that I booked it with said they wasn't going to give me the compensation I asked for. They weren't going to provide me back with the full amount I paid for the in-flight meals that we didn't receive. They offered me a lower amount. So I went to APTA, and they come back, and their response was, well, we're really sorry, they just won't budge. We think you should go to mediation. So that concerned me a bit with APTA's response. So I spoke to Travel Watch, and they asked me to send all my stuff to them, which I did, and I got copies from phone calls from this big holiday company under the Freedom of Information, and I sent them as well, because within them calls they admitted that they failed under special measures to book us the hotel. We were put in a different hotel that was, I'd say, we didn't even get a 1 star, and we paid £9,000 for the holiday. So for me, that was 3 break-ins of my holiday package holiday. So then when I spoke to Travel Watch, they came back and said, we can't tell you what to do, but we think that, you know, your case would be suitable for a solicitor. So I said to them, I'm a bit worried about going to APTA, because if APTA say no, I'll then have the charge of going to them and plus paying for the other companies, the travel holiday companies' fees. I'm not quite sure whether I should pay out the money to go to a solicitor, because they broke my contract with the hotel because we asked for special measures because of my cancer and my son having brain damage and having little children with us, which they admitted on the phone calls that they didn't carry out.
So you're wondering what to do next, are you?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried to go further with APTA because...
and the cost of a solicitor. What do you think, Dean?
Anne-Marie, let me just... I want to make sure I understand this properly. So, have you actually gone to APTA with this and they've said no, or are you contemplating going to them?
No, I've been to them. I sent my complaint to this big holiday company who we booked it...
No, but hold on there a minute. Anne-Marie. That's the holiday company. Have you gone to APTA?
Yeah, I've gone to APTA. And what APTA said, I went to them, sent everything to them, and they said their response on their site that came back to me was, we're really sorry, they won't budge on their decision. We think that you should go to mediation. But that the mediation quite worried me because...
Why are you worried about that?
Because if they make that final decision, you can't then go and take it to court
right.
After that, because that's the final decision.
Right, is that how mediation works?
Well, look, Anne-Marie, let me say this. One of the reasons why you book a packaged holiday in the first place is not only in case the tour operator goes bust, but it's also for situations like you've simply described. So if you don't get what you paid for, if you turn up at your hotel and it's a building site or it's a 1-star hotel rather than a 5, that's why we have APTA. That's why they have the mediation scheme. It appears to me, to be honest, that would be your best route rather than going to court. Court is more expensive, it takes longer, and APTA is set up and its mediation service precisely for this type of complaint. If it's as you've described it, it will be an easy win for you. They will find in your favour. The mediation will fall on your side. I would go that route if I were you. OK,
Anne-Marie, I hope that helps. Zoe in Woking. Hello, Zoe.
Oh, hello there. Sorry, I've got a mouthful of chocolate.
Oh, very nice.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
As I was waiting. No, what it was, I bought my son a laptop before he went back to school, and from a well-known PC shop, and the screen has never been very good. So I took it back last weekend, and I opened the box because I had all the packaging, but the receipt wasn't in the box. So, well, they wouldn't do anything about it, and because I paid cash, there wasn't any record. And I was so fuming, I told them they could keep the flaming laptop. I said, it's no good to me. Then after I'd calmed down, because I spoke to the manager, after I calmed down, I said, I'll have the laptop back, because I don't know what's on it. I might have my details on it or something. So I now have a laptop that doesn't work, and I've got to pay to get it fixed. What can I do?
Sorry, when did you buy this laptop? I didn't quite get that. When was it?
August.
Okay, so you've had it for a while.
Yeah, it's under a year.
And you paid cash. I was going to say to you, but I'll say this anyway for other people in the same situation, but I don't think it's going to help you. One of the things I've seen at the Retail Ombudsman is when people pay in cash and can't find their receipts, some retailers will be good enough to go and look on their CCTV and see when you bought it and will say, OK, we've seen proof. I've seen quite a few do that. It's a good thing for them to do. But August is a long time ago, and I doubt they've still got that. So that probably won't work. The problem you've got, Zoe, the law just isn't on your side, because the retailer can say, I'm sorry, if you haven't got proof of purchase, then we're not going to do anything. It's such a big reason why not to pay in cash. All I would say is this: you've gone in the store, now try write a letter to their customer services department and see if you can appeal to their kinder side and see if they'll help you. Sometimes they will. It's worth asking.
But you've got to have proof of purchase.
You do. You just have to have that.
But that's not the same, though, as having a receipt. I mean, if she'd bought it with a credit card and could prove that, would that be good enough?
Absolutely. A bank statement, a credit card statement, anything that proves that you made that purchase, which is why the CCTV works as well. But this was a long time ago. I doubt they'll have it now. But I've also heard customer service departments actually say, OK, it's in our packaging. I think you did buy it from us. We'll accept that. I think, Zoe, do remember, you've asked people in the shop. They won't want to do it. But if you go back to the head office, they may do it for you.
Worth a try. Good luck, Zoe. Thank you. Delisha in Fulham. Hello, Delisha.
Hello, hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I have a quick question. It's relating to an online purchase I made. I bought this dress back in December, just about 3-4 weeks ago now, online from this website, and I paid about £75 for the dress and about £25 for delivery because I wanted an urgent delivery. Unfortunately, when the dress came, it didn't fit well, so I asked to return the dress. They refused to take the dress back, and so I sent pictures of myself in the dress that it didn't fit to just prove that the dress was not as they stated. So eventually what happened was I ended up keeping the dress. I took it to a tailor, paid another £50 to get the dress fitted, And now I received a letter from a company called, shall I name the company?
No.
Okay, well, I received a tax saying that I have to pay a £31 additional to what I paid already for tax purposes because the dress came from China.
Oh.
Right. Did you order it from China?
No, the website had a .co.uk.
Right. And you've been sent a tax bill for it because it came from China?
Apparently, it stated that because any item purchased from China that's above £15, I have to pay additional taxes on it.
Mm.
But did it say that on the website you bought from?
It didn't. I went back on the website, double-checked it, and it still doesn't say anything about that.
Delisha, there's two things I want to say about this. First of all, you had a right to send that dress back when you first told them it didn't fit. That's what the consumer contract regulations say. If you do this within 14 days of delivery, you can go back and say, I've changed my mind. You haven't got to send them a photo to say, oh, look, it doesn't fit me. That doesn't matter. You had the right to do that. Although you've now gone past that because you got it altered. Secondly, if it didn't tell you clearly on the website that you'll have to pay this crazy tax, then just ignore them because they've got no chance of recovering that from you. That's just really silly. Ignore it.
OK. Delisha, thank you very much. Good luck with that. 0345 6060 973. If you've just tuned in, it's the Consumer Hour. Dean Dunham is here to talk about your consumer rights. So if you've got a problem, you want some advice, then call us now. 0345 6060 973. Let's go to Nafir in Stratford. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Basically, I send a phone to one of these phone recycling companies. So basically, they buy your old phone and then sell it to someone else for cash.
Yeah.
So, they quoted me online code, so I accepted it and I sent it via a postage company, which actually they arranged a collection. They told me it's an insured delivery for any potential damage or loss. So I sent that phone, and that phone was lost during transit. I called up this postage company, and they told me that it's nothing I can do because I did not buy that shipment from them. I didn't buy the actual postage, so it would have to be the actual business who need to raise a claim for the lost item. Now, I've been trying to get in touch with that business, and they don't respond to my phone calls or emails or anything. So I send them phones, which is lost in post, and I don't know what to do.
That's very difficult. Nafia, first of all, they are right. So whoever pays for the delivery enters into the contract, and therefore that's the person who can complain or make a claim. That sounds like it's the company that was buying the phones. So I guess you didn't pay for the delivery of the phone, did you? It was the company.
Yes, it was the company who arranged a free collection.
So this company's right then. You don't have any rights to go to them and ask anything, to be honest. You've got no contract with them. All you can do is persevere and keep ringing them. Go online, Google their name, make sure that it's not a scam and that no one else has lost out with them. If you don't get anywhere, perhaps ring your local trading standards, see if they've heard of the company. They may well visit them for you. But there's nothing else I can really tell you to do other than just keep on persevering, to be honest. Keep ringing them.
But he does have the right to get the value of the phone back.
Absolutely, yes.
Right. OK, good luck, Nafia. Thank you very much for that. If you've just tuned in, then you're listening to the Consumer Hour here on LBC. Dean Dunham is here, consumer lawyer and the Retail Ombudsman. And if you've got a question about your consumer rights, then call us right now. There's a line clear if you're quick, 0345 6060 973. Text 84850 and tweet at LBC. This is LBC. I'm Clive Bull. The time 9:30. Let's go to
Clive Bull on LBC.
LBC, I'm Clive Bull, and it's the Consumer Hour. Dean Dunham is here answering your questions. Let's go to Debbie in Highbury. Hello, Debbie.
Hi there.
Hi, go ahead.
My son recently bought a pair of trainers online, and because it was his first time doing it by himself and he didn't want any help, he accidentally filled in our address wrong. So though he had the street name and the postcode, he didn't put the door number. So when the trainers were delivered, the courier decided to deliver it to a neighbour because they didn't know who to deliver it to. And when they didn't arrive, we called the company that he ordered it from, and they said the courier had put number 9, or the next door neighbour. So we went to the neighbours. We actually visited most of the neighbours on the street, and nobody's received the trainers. Now, the company refused to give him back his money, and they're telling us to just report it to local authority. Where do we stand? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, this is a real difficult one, actually, Debbie. If you had said the address was right, yet they had gone to a neighbour, then you'd be able to go back to the retailer and say, hard luck, you'd have to send us some new trainers. But it's your responsibility to get the address right, or your son's responsibility when he placed the order. So you have given them a little bit of an out here because he did make that mistake and they're naturally taking advantage of it. There's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately, apart from report it to the police. And I guess you don't want to do that to your neighbours. So it's a real difficult one. Real difficult one, and it does happen. You have to be so careful when putting addresses in.
Sorry, Debbie. Thank you very much. Maria in Enfield. Hello, Maria.
Hiya. Quick question. I decided to opt for some skincare treatments, and when they had tallied it all up, it was quite expensive. It was not a preventative method. It was to get rid of, certain marks and things on my face. So I was supposed to pay monthly, but I didn't use a third company for credit. It was in-house with the clinic. Now, when I've had the treatment, I sent an email with my pictures and everything, and they said, yes, you're perfect for the treatment. When I went for the treatment, I said nothing's changed. They said, wait for 10 days. I sent an email, and then the doctor contacted me and said it's more preventative as opposed to a cure. I said, that's not what the email says. So now I've told them I refuse to pay for the treatment. So where do I stand with that?
Well, generally speaking, whenever you buy goods or a service, and you've got both here, you have to get what it says on the tin. And clearly here, that's not what's happened. So it appears to me they've misrepresented the position to you. And if that's the case, then you are entitled to say, you didn't give me what I asked for. Therefore, not only am I not going to carry on paying, I want a refund, please. That's your right. So, Maria, go back and tell them that.
Is there any special way I have to go about it, or is an email enough?
Email is fine. In fact, do that rather than telephone them. But here's the key words: the Consumer Rights Act 2015. That's the law that applies. Tell them you know your rights under that act, and tell them that you've been misrepresented because you believed it was not going to be a preventative measure. Tell them what you were told, and therefore tell them you want a refund.
OK, good luck, Maria. Thank you very much. The Consumer Hour, 0345 6060 973. Dean Dunham is here. Sanj in Twickenham. Hello, Sanj.
Hi. I have a small problem. I bought a car in middle of August and through a finance company. And the dealer told me it was a perfect car, full service history, everything. And then the finance company told me that the first 6 months, the dealer is responsible if something goes wrong with the car. Now, last week, unboxing them, the gearbox would work. I rang the finance company, and I rang the dealer, and he said, it has nothing to do with us. It's only 3 months we cover. And then I rang the finance company, and they said, they are responsible. They started, and then suddenly they rang me on Friday, and said, the dealer, when he sold you this car, we understand wouldn't have known the fault because we had gone to garage to check the fault. So, and now they're saying that we can do it for you, but we will put $1,400 on top of your finance. But I thought under the Consumers Act 2015, within 6 months you couldn't. But I don't know where that stands.
How old is the car?
Well, the car is 5 years old.
5 years old. Right.
Yeah, and I bought it in August, and it's quite an expensive car. But now I've been. Well, first I told the dealer that I should go this matter to FCA as well. And
let's see what Dean says.
Well, I can't believe we're 40 minutes in, and it's the first car complaint we've got because usually there's loads of them.
Yeah.
Sanj, here's the situation. The 6 month the 6 month that you were mentioning, what that means is that for the first 6 months after purchase, the Consumer Rights Act says if something goes wrong, it's for the trader, in this case the vehicle dealership, to prove that it was due to wear and tear and not due to a problem that was there at the point of purchase. That's what it says. Now, clearly, they'll have to prove that this issue wasn't there. It doesn't sound like they've done that. And if they haven't, it means you have the right to have a repair or an exchange. But in this case, it will be a repair because it's a car. Now, if they then repair that once and it still isn't right, you can get a refund. It probably won't happen. Probably they'll repair it and it'll be fine. But here's the important part. Consumer Rights Act 2015, and they will have to repair it. Go back and tell them that.
But the crucial point then is whether it's wear and tear or whether it's a fault that they should have known about. Is that it?
Yes, but the important point, Clive, is they will have to prove it. It'll be for them to produce some kind of report that says this is not a fault that was here when we sold the car to you.
Right.
It's something that you did. You were driving it 400 miles an hour down a steep hill or something silly like that. It's very difficult with the car for them to do that. So my opinion is they'll probably just give you the repair.
OK, good luck, Sanj. Thank you. Sven in Bow. Hello, Sven.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Basically, I sold a laptop through an online auction company, and before it went off, checked that everything worked, like the battery and everything, and sent it off to the buyer. And when he got it, he held it on. Didn't tell me for about 2 weeks that the battery wasn't charging when he plugged it in. And so asked him, has he had a look online or any fixes? And he said yes, he tried various things. Now I had exactly the same problem with the laptop with two others. And it's actually a known issue with the manufacturer and software. So I could have fixed it for him within about 2 minutes by installing a new driver. But he complained to eBay, didn't want it fixed, and eBay accepted his complaint, open and close the case. And then...
OK, and what's your question?
Well, basically, they've now given him the refund, and they're asking me for the £500 back for the laptop.
Right.
But obviously, I don't have the £500 now, and the laptop actually was working. It was just a driver.
Well, it wasn't working, was it? I thought you said you had to fix it.
No, it's a software problem with Windows. So, if you get
well, Sven, let me say this. In the eyes of the consumer law, that laptop was not working. When you sold it, I mean, as a private seller, the buyer's rights are only that it's as described. They don't get the rest of the rights because you're not a trader. But it's not as described if there's anything wrong with it unless you've said it. So if in the description you had said, oh, and by the way, there's a software issue with it, it won't work, but send it back and I'll fix it, then you're going to be in the right. But you didn't say that. Therefore, unfortunately, you are in the wrong and you do have to give the refund.
Sven, thank you. Maggie in Manchester. Hello, Maggie.
Oh, hello. Happy New Year, gentlemen.
And to you. What can we do for you?
Well, I got a letter from my electricity company, I won't mention its name, the day before New Year's Eve. My contract's up in January 19th, and it said if I rang up and asked for V20 contract, it would be £1.97 cheaper per annum, which is fine by me. So I rang up, and 2 hours later, 5 callers later, because they didn't know anything about these letters, and this has happened 3 consecutive years with this company, I got someone who said, that one you can't have, but you can have V21. I said, so is that the same? He said, yes. So I said, tell me the wattage, how much it is per watt, etc., and the daily tariff. And it was clearly a lot more. He said, oh, yes, it's actually, that will be £119 more. So they sent me a letter saying I could save £1.97, and it's actually £119 more. I think he said it was 22% more. And so I asked to speak to a manager, and I wasn't happy with the answer they were giving me. And so I asked to speak to a resolution manager, and quite frankly, she sounded as though she was about 12 years old. She could not string 2 words together. There's no way she was a resolution manager.
So what do you want to get out of this, then?
I want them... I'm quite happy with the £1.97 reduction.
You want them to honour the letter that they offered you?
This sent me. And can I say this? I must emphasise this. It's a big company. 3 consecutive years I've had to argue.
I'm surprised you're still with them, Maggie. I would have moved on.
Well, the reason I'm still with them, love, is because I'm not on the internet. I'm partially sighted and I'm in my 70s. It's so difficult.
I understand, but I really, if you possibly can, I would find a way of doing it. I mean, you can do that over the phone, but let's get an answer from Dean on this issue.
Yeah,
then.
I mean, look, £1.97, that is what they were saying they were going to save you. It's not a lot. And I have to say, I really hope that someone makes comparing deals easier for people like yourself who are not on the internet, because you'd get a much better deal, I think, if you went elsewhere. But let's come back to the issue. If you have a letter in your hand that says, this is what we'll offer you, then I would send that letter back to them, send them a letter, explain what's happened, give them a copy or the original letter that they sent to you. I'm certain they'll do something about it, because something's obviously gone wrong. I have to say, I say this all the time, these big companies always get it wrong with their administration. There's always administration issues with them. Just go back and tell them in writing. Don't ring them. Do it in writing. I'm sure they'll solve it.
Well, good luck, Maggie. And I think there is a way of accessing a comparison service without being on the internet. I think there is a way of calling and doing it on the phone, so I'm going to try and find out for you, Maggie, and we'll let you know. Thank you very much for that. And more calls coming in just a moment. The Consumer Hour here on LBC. It's 9:45.
This is LBC.
When you need more space.
Clive Bull, this is LBC and the Consumer Hour. Dean Dunham is here, consumer lawyer and the Retail Ombudsman, answering your questions. Just going back for a moment to Maggie in Manchester. I said I thought there was a way of doing it over the phone to get a price comparison for your energy. And there is. In fact, there's probably several, but certainly Uswitch, which is one of the leading comparison sites, they do have a free phone number, and we're going to phone Maggie and give it to her right now, so that hopefully she can get something sorted out, and it gives her another possibility, another choice, if you're not on the internet. So, Maggie, if you're listening, we're about to call you and give you that information. Back to the calls. Lynn in Dartford. Hello, Lynn.
In Dartford, I'm in Belvedere.
Oh, very nice too, yes.
Not even close.
What can we do for you, Lynn?
Thanks. Right, what it is, I bought my dog a toy from a well-known pet store. It said it was supplied with a battery. When I unwrapped it, there was no battery. Gave it to him on Christmas Day. It's been working, but it's broke. Well, in less than like a week, 2 weeks. I was wondering what I can do about it, because the company's saying there's no proof that there's no batteries with it or anything.
Lynn, I'm slightly confused. When you say it's working, is that because you put a battery in it?
Yeah, I supplied my own battery.
Now I understand. Well, if the box or the packaging says that it comes with batteries included, if that's what it says, then they're going to have to give you the batteries. As simple as that.
At the moment, I bought it online, and they're saying, oh, well, you've got no proof, so... online...
Oh, you can't prove that it didn't have a battery? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, they're saying I can't prove that it didn't come with a battery.
Oh, I see. I had it wrong.
I bought it online.
I see. So you're saying that basically they accept the batteries are included, but they didn't come with the batteries?
Yes. We didn't have no batteries.
Well, they'll have to prove that, because within the first 6 months, it's for them to prove, not you. So you can go back and say, actually, it didn't have the battery. If you think it did, prove it.
Right.
Stand your ground, Lynn, and tell them Consumer Rights Act, you know your rights.
All right. Good luck, Lynn. Thank you, Mark in Hackney. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically a quick question. I've ordered a ticket to fly a couple of months ago. Actually coming up, and next week is the flight. Just 2 weeks ago, maybe, the airline has informed me that they've pushed the flight with about 2.5 hours later, which is a bit not so comfortable. Is there any compensation I can claim for that?
Well, sorry, when is the flight? Tell me again.
Next week.
And when did they tell you? Was it more than 14 days ago?
Yeah, more than 14 days ago, but quite a while after I've booked it.
Yeah, let me stop you there. They have the right to do that. So if they tell you within 14 days or more than 14 days from the date of the flight, then you can't get compensation.
Right. I understand that. And if they would have just changed it in the 14th, there is a compensation?
Yes.
Right. Does it have to be a certain amount of hours they are, let's say, pushing it later, or...?
No, you're creeping into a different type of question, because you're getting more into flight delay question. This is more about if they change your flight and they tell you in a certain period of time, they don't have to pay you compensation. If they tell you on the day, for example, or a few days before, then they do, but not in your case.
Okay,
Sorry,
Mark. Thank you very much. Caroline in Sutton. Hello, Caroline.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Yes, in October I took out a month's membership with a gym because I just wanted to try it out. And it was on the understanding that I would be able to book classes online. When I came to try and do this, within 48 hours it was apparent I couldn't, and I was told I had to book on the day. I immediately asked for my money back, because if you book on the day you can't get onto the classes. They wouldn't give me my money back. They issued me 30-day free passes, and I have to book on the day. Can't get on the classes. I've asked them if they would offset this £55 against a year's membership, and they've said no. But I'm very angry about it.
So basically, they're being really helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the month where thousands of people are going to enter into a gym contract, and by February they're going to regret it. But this is not quite the case with you. I would go back and say I only entered into the contract on the basis that I could book online. Now, Caroline, if you can prove that you were told that or led to believe that, you have a very good case to say, I want to rip the contract up, give my money back. But you'll have to be able to show something on the website or in literature or something where it says that.
Well, funnily enough, a girlfriend of mine joined a week before to do that month's membership, and she was able to book online, and they changed the rules within that 2-week period. And when I came to do it, I wasn't able to do it.
Can't they let you do it now?
No. I have never been...
How peculiar.
It's the most awkward situation. I've phoned up so many times. I've been referred to head office. I would like to actually join the gym, but £55 is a lot of money to swallow, and I feel they should offset it against my year's membership.
I'd go back and keep on screaming at them. Those who shout the loudest usually get what they want. It's not like you're trying on. I can see why you're saying what you're saying. Go back to their central customer services if they're not a one-off gym and explain it again to them. I'm sure they'll do something for you.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Adam in Crawley. Hello, Adam.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, Clive. Good
evening.
Dean. Yeah, I bought a ticket back in September. I booked it online for my wife and the kids. They were flying out to Spain on October.
Yeah.
So a day before they fly in, my missus wanted to print the ticket, and she couldn't, and she kept facing the same problem. So we decided to call them, and we've been told that the tickets were cancelled because of an error when we made the payment. So I went to my bank and see that the money was taken same day when we booked the ticket, and they never came back. So I called them again, explained the situation, and they say you can pop into one of our customers' service, and they say if you want to fly, you have to buy a new ticket. So when we bought the ticket, they were like £380, and we end up paying almost £800. And they say you can make a complaint, and we will come back to you. So I received an email back from them. They say we believe an error was occurred at the time, which never was the case, and I'm stuck with that situation. I mean, last reply from them was the same thing.
Well, Adam, that sounds very unfair to me. I would go back to the airline and say, which alternative dispute resolution provider are you with? Most are with one now. And what you can do for free, if it's the Retail Ombudsman, that is, you can refer your complaint to them, explain exactly what you've just explained to me now, and see what they say. It appears to me, I think you're entitled to something.
OK, so it's the ADR you've got to ask about.
The ADR. All
right, Adam, thank you very much. Let's squeeze in Ali in Twickenham. Hello, Ali.
Hello, actually, it's in Cricklewood. Yes, good evening to you. Yes, the problem is, I mean, I was in a gym, a member of a gym, and I was paying £55. Then they raised it to £70. And when I entered for the agreement, they said that when you give us, I said, if you want to leave, what's the procedure? They said that after 1 year, or you just give us 1 month notice and you can leave. I said, that's fine. So 1 month I give them notice and I left the contract. I said, can I cancel my membership? The direct debit. He says, no, you are canceling from our side. So I left it like that, and after I left it, I thought that they have cancelled it.
And they're still charging you, are they?
The devil is still charged for another 10 months.
10 months?
Wow. For 10 months. I didn't see until, because...
You didn't see?
I didn't see
oh, dear.
that they're taking that money. Then I found out, because I don't want to name...
No, you can't. What can Ali do about this?
Well, look, there's two things I want to say first for other listeners. When you stop a contract where there's a direct debit, always cancel it yourself. Never leave the other party to do it. Secondly, always check to make sure it has been cancelled and no more payments have come out. Ali, go back to your bank, tell them you did not authorise those direct debit payments, therefore you want the money back from your bank. They may assist, but put in writing to the gym and tell them that there's no contract, they shouldn't have taken your money, you demand they repay it in 7 days. They will repay you.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's squeeze in Sarge. Only got a minute or so, Sarge. What's your question?
Hi, evening both. A very quick one. Last November, my wife bought 2 branded handbags from online, and when they arrived, they didn't look genuine, so she called them up and they arranged a return. It's been 4 or 5 weeks now when she returned, and she have only received partial refund for 1 bag. When we reached back to company and they said they have only received 1, they haven't received 2. And they're still investigating. It's been 3 weeks since the investigation has gone up.
Sarge, very quickly, how did you send that bag back? Was it through their prepaid postage or did you post it?
It's through their prepaid postage.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. So basically, it will be for them to contact the courier service, not you, because it's their contract, to find out what happened with it, and they'll have to deal with it. So go back to them and say, it's your problem, your prepaid postage, please deal with it.
OK, good luck, Sarge. This is clearly a common problem, this issue of whether something's got back or not, whether it's been returned or not.
It really is. And Clive, let me say this as the closing shot for tonight. If you send things, it's so important you've got evidence you've done it, whether it's a photograph or getting the Royal Mail to sign something. Evidence is so important because things go missing all the time.
Absolutely. Dean, thank you very much. We'll see you next week, same time. Dean Dunham from the Retail Ombudsman.